Jai Guruji Maharaj, Anantam Shukrana, Jai Guruji Sangatji. On behalf of Vasan Uncle and Multilingual Global Sevadar team, I would like to invite Meenu Verma Auntie to come and share her blissful journey with Guruji Maharaj. Jai Guruji Auntie, please unmute yourself.
Jai Guruji, thank you. Om Namo Shivaya, Shivji Sada Sahai. Om Namo Shivaya, Guruji Sada Sahai. Thank you, Guruji. This mantra jap, I don't know the exact translation, but what this means to me is that Shiv or Guruji, which is one and the same, is always with me, always protecting me. God's protection is the biggest protection that one needs in one's life. When you're asked to share your journey with Guruji, the first thought is, what do I share? And so every time I question, what should I be saying? The reality is, the journey is endless. I can only talk about my journey in this lifetime, which spans 20 years. But my soul knows that this journey goes much, 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 much further beyond than that. I try to think of a theme that should be the overarching message that I would like to convey to the Sangat, to show Guruji ki mahima, what he is. Kaun jane gun tere. This Shabad is very near dear to me because every time he amazes me with what he's done and what he is doing and what he keeps doing for me in my life. I met Guruji in 2005. We are all troubled souls and we search for God when we go through difficult times in our lives. None of us would be here. You wouldn't be listening to me and I wouldn't be speaking to you if it wasn't for those difficult experiences in our lives. And so I also went to Guruji after many, many years of trying to figure out what was happening in my life. The theme of today's satsang is letting go. We call it surrender. And it is probably one of the most difficult things that we can do as a human being, because we're taught from an early age that, we should control what we say, control what we should eat as kids, control what we look at, control what we wear. And so letting go of control is very, very difficult for human beings. But that is precisely what is required on this path, the spiritual path of being a disciple of a guru. My entire life, when I look back, nothing in my life has been planned. Of course, our birth is never planned, but then as we get older, we're taught by our parents, by our relatives, focus on this and, focus on your studies. I don't remember any of that. I never thought about what I wanted to do, what I wanted to be. I know I wanted to be an astronaut. I wanted to see space. But that was the only desire that I ever recall having as a kid. And so I believe I've lived my life quite aimlessly. Being married at 20, not pursuing my studies, and getting married and getting a job, and realizing after getting married, that I really didn't have much of a qualification. And then I decided to do something about it and started pursuing education. But then kids happened, and then another kid happened, and another kid happened, and life just keeps going out of control. And then you reach a point. I reached a point in my life where I felt that life wasn't going as I wanted because I didn't have happiness in my life. Um, पति का सुख नहीं था, परिवार बहुत बड़ा है गुरु जी की कृपा से, बट हर औरत सोचती है कि उसका क्या, पर her married life would be happy. I didn't have that, and still I thought, okay, God is there, is watching, and He will take care of it. And then, of course, the stresses of life start to accumulate in your life, and then when you reach a point where you just can't handle it, and that comes out in various different forms. It comes out in either physical illnesses or mental illnesses, or relational issues. I would say I had all of those. Um, and the sad part is, God gives us signs of it, but we are so blind in our day-to-day life that we ignore those signs. I got a very, very uh, abrupt sign in my life from God to wake up. And that came in 2002, when I had my first panic attack. And I thought I was going to die of a heart attack. That fear of dying was real. And, we all go to Babas and Sant and Gurus because we are seeking something, whether it's financial wealth, physical health, emotional well-being, mental health. There are tons of reasons why we go searching for God. And I was one of those. And I would say I was very, very blessed to be amongst a family who has always been spiritual. And they understood my search, or my helplessness and my fear. And so my family, especially my eldest brother, guided me that this was God's way of calling you to Him. And so over a couple of years, I started attending satsangs of Radha Swami, with the intention of finding a guru, which took me to India in 2005. And ironically, or I would say fortunately, I was not accepted in that following. And Guruji called me to him. That was the day when my transformation started. The moment that I met him, it started. I didn't know it, of course, at the time, but looking back now, he's completely transformed my life. Completely. When I say completely, I mean completely. God, we go to Guruji saying, "Oh, हमें पैसे की तंगी है, हमारा बिजनेस ठीक कर दो, या हमें ये बीमारी है, हमारी ये बीमारी दूर कर दो," और वो सब कुछ करते हैं. But what we don't realize is that life is all about trials and tribulations. You may find financial well-being, but you may be stricken with health issues later on. Or your emotional state might deteriorate. And so we're always going to him as beggars, begging for one thing or another. And I also went. I went seeking help with my health and my marriage, and but he has his own plans, and the concept of letting go was taught to me over the course of the 20 years. How did he do that? Through a lot of tests. वो कहते हैं ना कि गुरुजी निचोड़ते हैं, वो सच में निचोड़ते हैं। किस तरह निचोड़ते हैं? तुम्हें जॉब में प्रॉब्लम देंगे, या तुम्हें ऐसा बॉस दे देंगे जिससे तुम्हारी बिल्कुल ना बनती हो, या तुम्हारे बच्चों की कोई प्रॉब्लम्स क्रिएट कर देंगे, या तुम्हारे रिश्तों में कोई दरारें डाल देंगे। तो वो कारण है सिर्फ गुरुजी, aka God, to bring you closer to him, because this life is all about experiences and learnings. जब मैं गुरुजी से मिली थी तो मैंने सोचा नहीं था कि मेरे आगे जीवन में क्या होगा। मुझे सिर्फ ये जानना था, मैं सिर्फ ये चाहती थी कि मैं जीऊं और मेरी मैरिटल इश्यूज खत्म हो जाए। ठीक है, बस मेरी ये चाह थी, और वो किस तरह से होगी ये मुझे नहीं मालूम था। हम सोचते हैं कि मेरा हस्बैंड ठीक हो जाएगा, मेरी हेल्थ ठीक हो जाएगी, तो सब कुछ ठीक हो जाएगा। बट Guruji's plan is much, much bigger than that. And so even after meeting Guruji, even though I had panic attacks, I gradually, by chanting his name, I was able to control my anxiety. My marital issues became worse. And I used to question why, I had asked, even though verbally I had never prayed, said to Guruji, Guruji, please fix my marriage issues. I knew that he knew, and so I never asked him. And so, after 2-3 years of connecting, when things were not getting better, I finally said, "Okay, Guruji, it's up to you. It is up to you whether you make this better or you make it worse." And he made it worse. Made it so bad where I'm surprised that I didn't go to jail for killing my husband, or vice versa. He gave me the patience and the perseverance and the strength to go through that trial. And one thing that I feel very fortunate for is that he gave me realization very, very early in meeting him that all of this was my own karma. And it wasn't God doing something to me. It was me having to go through my karma that only I can undergo. And so I'm thankful to Guruji for giving me the strength and not giving up. And that marriage ended. And as all relationships, when they come to an end, are very painful. It was painful for all of us, but the pain was necessary, because only through that pain was I able to experience freedom of having a choice, because I felt first time ever after that divorce that I had freedom to be who I wanted to be. And this satsang isn't about encouraging women to go get a divorce or to break up the marriage. It's only to demonstrate that I had, from my deepest desire was for my husband to, change his ways or perhaps make things better between us. But that was not the plan. And it was something that I thought I needed, something that I thought we all needed, but Guruji's plan was much, much bigger than that. And after that period, um, my faith in Guruji was still very strong. I didn't become bitter that why did my marriage fall apart? Because what he had done was he had set things already in motion for me to become financially independent. This is a repeat of my satsang that I did a few months ago. But I find that every satsang that you share, even though it's the same satsang, something new comes out because over the span of time, your understanding of that experience also changes. And so the message that I convey today may be slightly different from what I have conveyed or may have conveyed the last time. And so surrendering to Guruji at the time meant not becoming disheartened because my marriage was falling apart, but was having faith that whatever he had planned was better for me. And only did that once that marriage came to an end that I realized how happy I was to be free from that marriage. My husband wasn't a terrible man. It just that we didn't get along. And what Guruji has also taught me is that हमें अपने कर्म भुगतने पड़ते हैं हर रिश्ते कर्मों से जुड़े होते हैं when those karmas come to an end those relationships come to an end and so even though we mourn the end of that relationship whether it be through death or through a divorce or through breaking up of friendships it is just an ending of that give and take from a previous life. Guruji coming into my life and the transformation that I talk about. And when I met Guruji, I was not working. I had lost my job, and so Guruji knew that for me to be able to look after my kids, I needed a good job, and so he put those things in motion where I got additional training and education and was able to get a job. It seems now like without much effort, अगर मैंने effort किया भी वो भी गुरुजी की कृपा से हुआ, because I never felt that I was capable of doing that effort. And so he gives us that strength, the inner strength and the courage to continue. And he made me capable of looking after my 3 kids independently, financially independently, emotionally independently, and mentally independently. But you see, that is just the beginning where Guruji is teaching you to trust him. And that trust is instilled by taking your life in a different direction that you had hoped. And then with patience, you see the outcome of that, even though this was something that you had not hoped for and envisioned for yourself. That trust is built on outcome. Guruji was a practical guru. वो करके दिखाते थे. And so उन्होंने करके दिखाया मुझे कि जो मैं तेरी जिंदगी में कर रहा हूँ वो किस लिए है. And over time he gives you realization as well. My panic attacks are what took me to Guruji. And I took antidepressants for a year. When I met Guruji, I had already stopped taking it, but I was still having anxiety at times. And, that anxiety is there because that is the mind always taking control over your life and taking you in the direction where you feel that, it has control over your life. And, chanting Guruji, Jai Guruji, Jai Guruji, Jai Guruji, or repeatedly gave me the strength that I needed to overcome those moments of anxiety. And तो वो जो मंत्र है, शिव जी सदा सहाय, गुरु जी सदा सहाय. Oh, there's a reason why that mantra exists. It's there to give you that continuous support, to let you know that he's always there with you, watching over you. And, as human beings, we're constantly doubting ourselves, doubting even God. But letting go, I come back to letting go. He's taught me to let go, of that one relationship. And whether it's colleagues over the years, whether it's been, my job, and he's taught me to let go with courage and faith. I've recently moved to India. I've spent my entire life almost in Canada. And so he was preparing me for letting go. First it was letting go of the first marriage. I remarried and had that second divorce. My kids are grown up. My daughter, eldest, is married. My second eldest lives on her own independently. I've let go of my family. I've let go of my job. So I've retired and I've come to India. And people say, कैसे कर लिया तुमने, क्या सोच के किया, बहुत हिम्मत है तुम में. मुझ में कोई हिम्मत नहीं है. Honestly, गुरुजी ने मेरा हाथ पकड़ा हुआ है और मुझे वो हर रास्ते पे थोड़ी थोड़ी देर बाद दिखाते हैं कि जो तेरे साथ, जो तेरे लिए मैं कर रहा हूँ, वो तेरे बेहतर के लिए है. I went to him with a physical and mental and emotional issue. But he's transformed me in every single way. My family, middle class. We worked hard. I worked hard. Some people would say I've had a very successful life. I don't look at that because I know that none of it was my doing. It was all Guruji behind the scenes, making things happen. And, he gave me one job, another job, promotion after promotion, more money after more money, more respect. मेरे करके नहीं है क्योंकि मैं तो वही हूँ. बट गुरुजी से जुड़ने के बाद जो वो तुम्हें सिखाते हैं, उसी से इंसान बेहतर होता है. और उनकी महिमा करनी बहुत मुश्किल है. जब मैं पीछे मुड़ के अपनी जिंदगी देखती हूँ कि जब मैं उनसे जुड़ी थी, मेरा कोई सपना नहीं था लाइफ में, कोई भी सपना नहीं था कि मुझे बड़ा मकान चाहिए, मुझे गाड़ियां चाहिए, मुझे बड़ी नौकरी चाहिए, मुझे स्टेटस चाहिए, ये कुछ भी नहीं था, कुछ भी चाहिए भी नहीं था। एंड गुरुजी ने सब दिया, सब कुछ दिया, उनकी कृपा से मिला। और तो मैं कैसे उनका शुक्रिया अदा करूं कि उन्होंने मुझे इस काबिल समझा। मैं आपके सामने बैठी हूँ, हम्म, कि किसी ने मुझे लायक समझा कि मैं उनकी महिमा कर सकूं, तो ये भी उन्हीं की करनी है। मैं उसके लायक नहीं हूँ, सच में पूछो। सॉरी, मैं इमोशनल हो जाती हूँ, क्योंकि आई नो डीप डाउन दैट इट इज ओनली हिम, इट इज हिम एंड ओनली हिम दैट मेक्स अस केपेबल। तो वो जो ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन करते हैं, वो अंदर से करते हैं, बाहर से करते हैं। अब देखो, उन्होंने मेरी जिंदगी पूरी ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन कर दी ना। कहा मैं कनाडा में सारी उम्र रही हूँ, अब मैं इंडिया में आई हूँ, ठीक है, यहाँ के तौर तरीके सीख रही हूँ। किस लिए? ये गुरुजी जानते हैं। अब मैं आपके सामने क्यों बात कर रही हूँ, ये भी गुरुजी जानते हैं। मैं सिर्फ ये जानती हूँ कि गुरु से बढ़कर कुछ नहीं है। आ, गुरु एक जुनून है हमारा। जब तक हम उसको अपना जुनून ना बनाए, तब तक हम गुरु को समझ नहीं सकते। um, I have no hobbies, honestly. Why am I talking about myself is because through me you can understand uh, the change that Guruji has brought in me. I was an extremely shy child. इतनी shy कि अगर हमारे कोई घर आता था, और अगर मैं उस कमरे में नहीं हूं जब वो घर आए हमारे मेहमान, और अगर मैं किसी दूसरे कमरे में हूं, तो मैं कमरे से निकलती नहीं थी, क्योंकि मुझे इतनी शाइनेस फील होती थी। And so I grew up with that shyness. Um, as a teenager, I was shy. I was shy. Maybe that is why I didn't speak up uh, and ask boldly of what I expected out of my husband. Um, After meeting Guruji, um, he's given me that courage, that boldness. I'm speaking in front of you. I used to get very nervous sharing my satsangs. Canada में जब होते थे, थोड़े थोड़े लोग होते थे. Um, अब मुझे सिर्फ और सिर्फ गुरुजी का की सोच मेरे मन में चलती है कि गुरुजी, मैं कैसे समझाऊं, कैसे बताऊं लोगों को कि आप क्या हो, आप क्या कर सकते हो। भगवान तो हो, हाँ, मगर भगवान क्या कर सकता है? I wish I could express. I wish there was a way to express the endless love that Guruji gives us, has given me. Um, Recently, when I shared Guruji Satsang, um, I talked about how I cried so much, and it was just last week that I realized I've never truly understood why I cried so much and I laughed so much when I met him for the first time. And I realized this past week that was the first time in my life and that I felt joy. My soul felt joy. That I felt happy in my life. जो कहते हैं ना सच्ची खुशी महसूस, वो पहली दफा मुझे गुरुजी के साथ मिलने से हुई थी. तो तभी मैं इतनी रोई थी कि वो खुशी मैं छोड़कर जाना नहीं चाहती थी, और इतनी खुशी कि मेरे से बर्दाश्त नहीं हो रही थी. And so it took me 20 years to realize why I behaved that way when I met Guruji. And so this journey with Guruji is not a 2-year, 5-year, 10-year, 20-year. It's a infinite journey with Guruji. And there is no end to infinity. And so there is no end to Guruji's love and forgiveness and meher on all of us. None of us are more special than the other, okay? Guruji loves us all equally. The depth of how much we feel his love is dependent on how much love we feel for him. And I'm not saying I love him more than anybody else. All I can say is the more that I love him, the more I feel his love, the more amazed I am by what he has done for me, to me. You know, financial wealth इकट्ठा करना मुश्किल है, but impossible नहीं है. उसमें लक होता है, हार्ड वर्क होता है. हाँ, अच्छी हेल्थ भी इंसान बना सकता है, खाना अच्छा खाए, अपने शरीर का देखभाल रखे, mental health as well. But जो सोच है ना, हमारी इंसान की सोच, वो हमारे काबू से दूर होती है. Our thoughts are beyond our control. And this is where I find Guruji is helping me. He has changed my thought patterns. There was a lot of anger in me from childhood. And in my first marriage, there was so much anger, so much anger. After meeting Guruji, that anger, and everything reaches a boiling point. And I did reach that boiling point when my marriage came to an end. And that was necessary because काम, क्रोध, लोभ, मोह, पांचवा मैं भूल गई. उसको खत्म करने के लिए हमें उसको एक्सपीरियंस करना पड़ता है पहले. जब हम उसको एक्सपीरियंस करते हैं तभी हम उसको कंट्रोल में ला सकते हैं. And so he let me experience so much anger where I became aware of what my anger was doing to me. And Mo, for a mother, Mo is almost impossible to let go of. But that is also something that Guruji wants each and every one of us to learn, because he is our mother and he is our father. And so he is teaching me how to let go My kids are not with me right now. I'm living without my kids. And I didn't think that that was also ever possible. I didn't think I could live without my mother. And, she passed 25 years ago, and I'm living, and my kids are, living independently. And so he prepares you for letting go of वो पांच वो जो सेंसेस हैं, पांच जो खामियां हैं. Um, so letting go is difficult. But I had always wanted to come to come to India. There was a desire, but it wasn't something that I had planned. And so Guruji prepares us because he is the master planner. He prepares so much in advance. The people we meet, the jobs we take, the relationships that we get into, the relationships that we let go of, the fights that we have, those are all planned by him. That's not to say that you don't take responsibility for your actions. We are still responsible for behaving, in a civilized way. But what he teaches us through letting go and through surrender is only after those what we call terrible or unpleasant experiences, when we see the outcome of that, only then do we realize why we had to go through it and why we had to let go. And so letting go is something that he's teaching me. I'm learning. And so बहुत मुश्किल है, बहुत बहुत मुश्किल है surrender करना. And Guruji Sada Sahai. Guruji Sada Sahai. There's a reason why I believe ये मंत्र जाप. हाँ, क्योंकि वो सदा सदा हमारा साथ दे रहे हैं, और वो साथ हमें बार बार महसूस भी कराते हैं जगह जगह पर. हाँ, वो हमारी छोटी छोटी इच्छाएं पूरी करके हमें दिखाते हैं कि देख, मैं तेरे साथ हूँ. और जब बहुत डिफिकल्टीज आती हैं और तुम उस मुश्किलों में से basically you get through those difficult moments without completely losing your mind or completely losing your sense of self, then you realize that Guruji was there. And so शुक्राना करना, सिर्फ ये वर्ड बनाया नहीं गया है कि यहाँ पे शुक्राना कह दिया तो हो गया शुक्राना. उसको शुक्राना, मन से शुक्राना, deep gratitude for those difficult lessons is really, really important, has been what's been important for me. And with letting go comes patience. I used to think I was patient. And then I realized when things didn't happen according to how I wanted them to happen, I realized I was impatient. And so he showed me, तू सोचती है तू पेशेंट है, मैं तेनू दिखाना तू कितनी impatient हैगी है. And what he's really doing is he's showing you the mirror. And that's very necessary. ये गुरुजी से जुड़ना ये सिर्फ दुनियावी चीजें मांगने के लिए नहीं है। ये गुरु हमें बहुत बड़ी चीज देने आए हैं, बहुत से कुछ सिखाने आए हैं। और अगर हम वो सीख कर नहीं निकले जिंदगी से, तो फिर से हमें ये 84 का जो चक्कर है, फिर से हमें घूमना पड़ेगा। And so coming back to surrendering, patience, 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 patience. Um, my early childhood, teenage years, adulthood, I had no plans, as I said earlier, no plans. Nothing was planned. My marriage wasn't planned. My kids weren't planned. My career wasn't planned. I just let things happen. Life was just happening. डिवोर्स का मैंने सोचा कर आई वांट अ डिवोर्स प्लान किया, वो भी लटकता लटकना बहुत साल लगे। And then situations, with my kids, some very difficult situations. And I, took the reins in my hand and I took control of the situation, or I thought I was taking control of the situation. The legal system was involved, the health system was involved. And the outcome of me taking control was so negative and so drastic. And I went seeking help to everybody. गुरुजी से तो प्रे होता था, बट मुझे लगा कि इस घड़ी में से ये जो वक्त गुजर रहा है, कि शायद गुरुजी से बढ़ के मेरे भाई बहन या दूसरे मदद कर सकते हैं। तो वो मैंने सबको किया। एंड आ जाकर जब तक मैंने अपने हाथ ऊपर नहीं करे, तब तक वो सिचुएशन नहीं सुधरी, बिगड़ती गई, बिगड़ती गई, बिगड़ती गई। एंड सो what Guruji taught me once again is, I am planning your life. You don't have to worry about planning your life. I am the master planner. And so surrendering to him now, I feel I feel I have complete freedom, because he's shown me, not just through my thinking, but through lived experience, what my trying to control my life ended up in. And that's not to say that, you sit there like a rock, or you just sit and meditate and don't fulfill your daily and family obligations. वो कर्म तो हम सबको करने पड़ते हैं। हम आए इस जीवन में कर्म काटने। And so we have to fulfill those obligations. But what I've learned with Guruji is that when we realize that nothing is happening to us, it is happening for us, then our attitude towards everything that is happening changes. And so me leaving my home country, which was Canada, it was not difficult for me, because I know that Guruji was leading the way. And I live here with Guruji. Some people might say pagal hai. Yeah, maybe so, but जुनून गुरु का जुनून जब तक हमारे अंदर नहीं होगा, तब तक हम गुरु को जान ही नहीं सकेंगे. And so my definition of Junoon is very different from maybe others. For me, it doesn't mean going to satsang every single day, or praying for hours and hours every day. You know, Guruji used to say कि मेरे स्वरूप नाल गल करो. He listens to every thought. He listens to every question that arises, and he gives you the answers when you are ready to understand them. That has been my experience. And a lot of questions have troubled me for the past 20 years since I've met Guruji. One of which was, and I've talked about this in many satsangs, because it was very, very difficult for me to accept that why out of my family, I only got to meet him twice. Everybody spent days with him, hours, days, weeks. I got 2 meetings with him only. And I used to feel so jealous of my siblings. And I also used to feel very jealous of people. संगत जो कहते थे मुझे गुरुजी के सपना आया, गुरुजी ने मुझे ऐसे कहा, मुझे उनके दर्शन हुए. मुझे उनका कभी भी सपना नहीं आया है. और जब भी मैं किसी का सत्संग सुनती थी तो मुझे बहुत जेलसी फील होती थी. हाँ, कि गुरुजी आप उनके सपने में आते हो, मेरे में नहीं आते. आई वॉन्ट टू सी यू. बट वो नहीं, फिर भी नहीं आए. He never came in my dreams. And then over the last 2 weeks, I went for an endoscopy, which I was delaying for 2 weeks because I've had some stomach issues. And while I was unconscious during the procedure, I had so many dreams. I don't remember the dreams, but I know I was dreaming the whole time. And the last dream, I saw Guruji. And for me, that was enough of a glimpse that I needed. I woke up and I was so happy, and I was laughing because उनका सपना उनका रूप देख के, चलते फिरते रूप देख के मेरे को खुशी मिल गई. And then just 3 days ago, when I'm mentally, whether it's talking to me or talking to Guruji or just having that mental chatter, sometimes a thought comes that's Guruji giving us answers to those questions that sometimes we don't even think about we have. And I realized why he only let me meet him twice. After that dream, I realized that that if he had let me meet him one more time, या मेरे से अगर और बारी मिलते तो मैं उनसे उनका बिछोड़ा बर्दाश्त नहीं कर सकती थी. And that is why he gave me a very, very, very small fraction of his physical experience. And so उसका जवाब मुझे 20 साल बाद मिला, वो क्वेश्चन का जो मुझे इतने सालों से चुभ रहा था. And so thank you, Guruji, for even giving me that realization कि क्यों ऐसे हुआ. I know that there's always a reason behind what he does. But us foolish human beings don't understand. And his kindness is beyond our understanding. And even when we feel that we're not being treated uh, with as much love as we want from him, there's always a reason. And शायद अगर मैं ज्यादा जुड़ जाती तो मुझे जो 20 साल में ये एक्सपीरियंसेस मिले हैं ना मिलते. मुझे जो गुरुजी से सीखने को मिला है through practical experiences that he's given me, through my life experiences, I should say, is that life is all about experiencing life and remembering that Guruji is the one who's controlling everything, controlling everything in our lives. ये तो ये कि वो हमारे खाने पे भी कंट्रोल कर देते हैं. You know, letting go as I started, there are so many things that we have to let go of. Letting go of the need to be respected, letting go the need to be valued, being loved by our family, letting go of our desires. I used to think I had no desires. इस past 3 weeks में मुझे realization हुई है कि हाँ मुझे खाने का बहुत शौक है. I used to think मुझे तो कोई शौक ही नहीं है. I'm such a simple human being. But मुझे खाने का बहुत शौक है. different तरह के खाने. And I got a stomach infection in October and it got better, and ये खाया वो खाया, खूब लंगर खाए, and then the infection came back with a vengeance. And for the past, I would say 2 months, I'm eating khichdi and lauki. First few weeks, 3-4 हफ्ते तो मैं कहती थी इससे अच्छा मैं मर ही जाऊं. मैं खिचड़ी रोज खा रही हूँ, ये भी कोई जीना है. एंड फिर थोड़ा सा लालच आ जाता था तो मैं खा लेती थी, लंगर खा लेती थी. But you see, langar is medicine. But why are we eating that langar? मैं वो लंगर खा रही थी अपने स्वाद के लिए, लालच के लिए, कि मैं लंगर खाऊंगी, अच्छा खाना मिलेगा, मैं ठीक हो जाऊंगी. But Guruji is teaching a much bigger lesson, which is letting go. Again, letting go of my desire for eating this and that. Because desires are, in my view, is what bind us to this life and death repeated cycles. And so now I eat khichdi, but I don't eat it with the thought ke isse better मैं मर ही जाऊं. Guruji is teaching me that you need very little to live and enjoy life. गुरुजी अपना प्यार दिखाते हैं, बार बार दिखाते हैं. हाँ, खिचड़ी खिला के भी दिखाते हैं. वो हर चीज में वो अपना स्वाद डाल देते हैं. एंड सो उनके प्यार को टेस्ट करना हमें बहुत झुकना पड़ता है. यू नो अहंकार की बातें हम सब करते हैं. मेरे में अहंकार नहीं है. हम सब में अहंकार छुपा हुआ है, मेरे में भी है. ये कहना कि झुकना पड़ता है, ये भी हमारा अहंकार ही बोलता है. And I'm sorry if I'm coming across as preaching. These are purely my personal experiences, my learnings from Guruji, that he's teaching me that to experience him, we have to become like him. We have to become pure of intentions, without greed and unconditional love. And if we can't, even experience unconditional love towards the food that we eat, how can we experience unconditional love for other human beings and God? And so the transformation that I talked about, it's practical transformation that he's giving me. गुरुजी ने मेरे को सिर्फ 2 words कहे थे when I met him. He said, "तू practical हो जा." And I didn't think anything about that at the time. But for years, I thought about, what did he mean by "तू practical हो जा"? Is he saying that I'm not practical? How do I become practical? And then, the last 10 years, I was like, should I, what should I do? How do I, मैं practical होके, मैं कैसे practical, मैं decisions practical लूं, मैं अपना काम तो practically करती हूँ. What does he really mean? And then over the years, I also used to, hear Sangat saying, Guruji ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਸੀ मैं practical गुरु हाँ, मैं करके दिखाना आया. And then I'm like, but Guruji, मैं कैसे practical हूँ, मैं क्या करके दिखाऊं कि मैं आपके वो शब्दों का पालन कर सकूं, तो practical हो जाए. And then week before last, when I was sitting at a satsang, I realized that he wasn't asking me to be practical. He was making me practical. Because गुरु के शब्द हमेशा सच ही होते हैं, वो होकर रहते हैं. बट ये है कि हमें उनके शब्द याद रखने हैं, भूलना नहीं है. And so my gratitude to Guruji for giving me the awareness and understanding of what he was trying to teach me, how he was trying to transform me. I have no words to express how thankful कितना छोटा वर्ड है, उसके तो शब्द ही नहीं है कि भगवान तुम्हें सिखा रहा है कि तुम इंसान कैसे बनो। सो गुरु की महिमा करनी आसान नहीं है। और हमें बार बार ऐसे अपनी लाइफ में लगता है कि शायद हमें गुरुजी ने छोड़ दिया है। हम्म। क्योंकि जब हमारी लाइफ हमारे तरीके तरीके या अकॉर्डिंगली नहीं चलती है तो हमें लगता है कि गुरु हमारे साथ नहीं है। But the reality is that's when he's really, really testing your understanding, testing your testing you of his teachings कि तुम उनकी उनकी उनको समझे हो कि नहीं, उनको समझ सकते हो कि नहीं। And um, through his grace, through his endless, infinite grace and love, we become aware of ourselves and our own shortcomings. And मैं उनकी महिमा वो बातें करके समझाऊं कि वो भगवान हैं। उन्होंने मेरे लिए अच्छी नौकरी दी, मुझे ढेर सारा पैसा दिया, मुझे इज्जत दी। ये तो बहुत छोटी चीजें हैं। जैसे कहते हैं ना, उनकी चुटकी का खेल है। इंसान की सोच को बदलना। हाँ, असली गुरु तो वो ही कर सकता है जो तुम्हारी सोच को बदले, तुम्हारी नजरिए को बदले। और हर रोज यही कोशिश रहती है कि जो हमारा नजरिया है, मेरा जो नजरिया है, वो बदले। हम सब जजमेंटल हैं। इंसान की फितरत ही है ये। माइंड, हमारा जो मन है वो है ही इसी चीज के लिए कि वो डिसाइड करे राइट टू रॉन्ग, राइट फ्रॉम रॉन्ग, राइट फ्रॉम रॉन्ग। बट Guruji never judged us. He never he didn't उन्होंने कभी भेदभाव नहीं किया किसी के साथ। हाँ, किसी के साथ भी नहीं। बहुत सारे शब्द हैं जिसमें गुरु की व्याख्या करते हैं कि जो उनके भगत हैं कितना प्यार करते हैं और फिर भी उनको कितनी तकलीफ सहनी पड़ती है। हाँ, वो गुरु ही हमें दिखाता है कि क्यों हमें तकलीफ सहनी पड़ रही है। ये लाइफ, ये जो दिस लाइफ is only for us to experience the outcomes of our prior actions in previous lifetimes. For a lot of people, they may all be good. For a lot of people, for vast majority of people, those experiences aren't pleasant. And for some, it's a mix. But what I've learned with Guruji is that both are for our betterment. Both are to be experienced fully. Both are to test us, test our devotion to him. Because he is devoted to us. सिर्फ हम इंसान ही भगवान को नहीं की श्रद्धा करता. हाँ, God is devoted to us, and so we shall also devote ourselves to God, because I truly, truly believe that we are one with Him. And so, जैसे हम अपने, sorry, I'm going to speak in English. Just like we cannot differentiate or be impartial to different parts of our body, God is not impartial to any human beings. He treats us and loves us all equally. But it is our own understanding of Him and our experiences that determine how we interpret those experiences. And so, thank you, Guruji, for letting me have that awareness that suffering is also part of your love. And suffering teaches us to love Him more deeply. And without suffering, this world wouldn't exist. But the reality is, every emotion has two sides, right? And so, if I've felt suffering in my life, I've also experienced extreme joy with Guruji's grace, because he wants us to experience life fully. And so, to think that we can always be happy and not feel sadness, then you're really not experiencing life. And so, coming to India, I knew it wasn't going to be easy. I knew it was going to be an adjustment. After 45 years, I have, and I will have full faith that Guruji has planned something in my life. And if I go through those difficult periods, whether it's being alone or whether it's, not being close to my family, or whatever those difficult moments may be, it's because it is an experience that will make me a better human being. और जब इंसान अकेला होता है तभी भगवान को याद करता है. And so he may have given me only 2 meetings with him, but I'm the only one in my family who has the opportunity to live with him alone in my thoughts, without any distractions. And so Guruji gives us answers all the time to all of our questions. It's just that we have to be ready. And those times when I feel impatient, that I don't understand why things are happening, I have to keep reminding myself that I have to be patient, and that answers will come when I'm ready. And Guruji will guide me and show me. I'm living in Delhi. People ask why I'm living in Delhi. I've never lived in Delhi. I don't have any family except a cousin. And Why Delhi? And my answer is, I don't know why. I know Guruji's mandir is here. Guruji will keep me close to him. And Guruji has plans, whatever those plans may be. And letting go of the need to control life. This is the first time where I have no control over my life in that. I don't know where I'm headed, but it is the most liberating experience in the world. And I'm not saying leave your families and, take बनवास, but मैंने मजाक में एक दफा कहा था संगत से कि गुरुजी ने मैं क्यों इंडिया आई हूँ क्योंकि गुरुजी ने मुझे ये मेरा बनवास है. And so sometimes the words that come out of our mouth are also an indication of Guruji giving us guidance. But the underlying message from my life experience with Guruji is that intention is utmost important. The intention with which we live this life and the intention with which we come to Guruji and meet people and do anything in life is what Guruji is looking at. भाव से तो कहते हैं पत्थर भी भगवान बन जाता है. There's a reason why those sayings exist. It is the feelings behind which we remember God, Guruji. God, Guruji to me is one and the same. He's never been a mere mortal being to me. Guruji also gave me the wisdom before meeting him that God can take the form of a human being. And thank you, Guruji, for that understanding. Because we can have doubt on human beings, on other human beings. बड़े से बड़े महात्मा भी हों, इंसान के मन में doubt आता ही है. But one can never doubt God. And so I've never doubted that what was happening to me was Guruji's doing. And if I can give one advice to the satsang, which is, that would be to never blame Guruji for what is happening in our lives. Okay. हम क्या करते हैं जब बुरा वक्त आता है तो कहते हैं हम भगवान हमारे साथ ऐसे क्यों कर रहा है. अच्छा वक्त आता है तो कहते हैं हमने मेहनत करी. सभी ऐसे नहीं सोचते हैं. हाँ, बहुत लोग हैं जो ऐसे सोचते हैं. The reality is our karmas have to be accounted for. Behind the karma is God. And so nothing is beyond him. Nothing is outside of him. And So ultimately, you know, we blaming Guruji for our suffering is futile, because what he's teaching you is that you are me and I am you. And whatever you do, the balance has to be maintained. And so अच्छे कर्म करोगे तो अच्छे फल मिलेगा, इस जन्म में नहीं तो अगले जन्म में। बुरे कर्म करोगे तो बुरा फल मिलेगा, वो भी इस जन्म में नहीं तो अगले जन्म में। And so that's the only teaching that he's trying to teach us, is become a human being, become God-like like me, love one another like me, care for one another like me. उन्होंने गुरु परिवार क्यों नाम डाला था? इसीलिए डाला था कि क्योंकि हम अपने फैमिली मेंबर्स को बहुत प्यार करते हैं। हाँ, और जो ज्यादातर यही होता है, और जो हमारे फैमिली के मेंबर्स नहीं होते हैं, हमें उनसे इतना लगाव नहीं होता है, जितना मर्जी कोशिश कर लो, नहीं होता है। हाँ, तो ये गुरु परिवार कॉन्सेप्ट, my understanding, this is all my interpretation of Guruji's teaching, is that गुरु परिवार वो भी तुम्हारा परिवार है, उनको भी अपने परिवार की तरह से प्यार करो, भेदभाव ना करो। हाँ, और करोड़ों की संगत क्यों बढ़ रही है? Ultimately, what Guruji is teaching us is that we are all one. No, there's no color, caste, or creed. And if we can live by those teachings to love like him, then his job is done. Then his lessons have been learned. Just gonna do a time check. So I have like 10 minutes. Or should I do a time check? Auntie, uncle, can you just let me know how much time I have left?
Jai Guruji, Auntie. It's okay, Auntie. You can continue. That's fine. Jai Guruji.
Yes. So, you know, मैं अपने लाइफ के miracles भी शेयर कर सकती हूँ। हाँ, क्योंकि ज्यादातर हम जो इंसान है, हमें लगता है कि अगर कृष्णा होगा, वो भगवान कृष्णा करते हैं तो वो भगवान हो सकता है। द रियलिटी इज कि कृष्णा, सबसे बड़ा कृष्णा तो वो ही है जब इंसान की सोच बदलती है, क्योंकि सोच से ही इंसान इंसान बनता है। सोच ही इंसान को दी गई है, जानवरों को नहीं। और जब भगवान हमारी सोच बदलना शुरू करे, इसका मतलब हम अपने गुरु के करीब जा रहे हैं। एंड सो उन्होंने मेरी जिंदगी में बहुत करिश्मे कोट अनकोट करे हैं, छोटे छोटे बड़े बड़े। उनकी एग्जाम्पल्स तो मुझे लगता है वो इट्स इट्स डिमिनिशिंग व्हाट अ गुरु इज, बिकॉज वो रिद्धि सिद्धि तो कोई भी इंसान भक्ति करके कर सकता है। हाँ, गुरुजी उससे बहुत ऊपर है। ये मिरेकल्स करना गुरुजी के बाएं हाथ का खेल है। He is the doer of this creation. He is the sustainer of this creation. And so he can do anything and everything. And उन्होंने मेरी लाइफ में किया है, सब कुछ किया है, सब कुछ दिया है, मुझे सब कुछ दिया है. You know, मैं छोटी से छोटी चीज मन में इच्छा होगी, ये कलर की साड़ी मिल जाए, वो साड़ी मिल जाएगी. मन करेगा कि यू नो ये इंसान से मुलाकात हो जाए, उसका फोन आ जाएगा. हाँ, बड़े से बड़े करिश्मे. मुझे गाड़ी लेनी है, BMW लेनी है, वो जिसके बारे में मैंने सोचा ही नहीं था. हाँ, मुझे बड़ा घर, वो भी मिल गया. हाँ, तो ये जो दुनियावी चीजें हैं, वो गुरु के लिए कोई बड़ी बात नहीं है. वो बहुत छोटी बातें हैं. मुझे जो लगता है वो गुरुजी हमें क्या सिखाने आए हैं कि तुम इंसान बनो, इंसान बनो और इंसानियत जगाओ, जो हम भूल चुके हैं. एंड गुरुजी से प्यार करना सीख. मैं सीख रही हूँ उनसे प्यार करना. जैसे वो हमें प्यार करते हैं, हम तो वैसे कभी उनसे प्यार करना सीख ही नहीं सकते. कोशिश कर सकते हैं सिर्फ. सो आई विश, आई प्रे that Guruji may grant us the desire to love him and to get a glimpse of what he is, who he is. कौन जाने गुण तेरे. उनके गुण बेअंत, बेअंत. Thank you, Guruji, for letting me be under your sharan. Thank you for letting me speak these words. Thank you for bringing me to this country where spirituality is the essence of this land. And thank you, Guruji, for making me worthy of even speaking your name. Jai Guruji. I love you, Guruji. Shukrana, Guruji. Thank you, Auntie.
Jai Guruji Maharaj. Auntie, indeed, we all are very blessed because you spoke so eloquently and with such profound messages. जैसे कहते हैं ना कि संगतें निहाल हो गई. So thank you, Auntie. Thank you so much. And indeed, very, very divine and pristine satsangs. Thank you so much. Thank you. On behalf of Multilingual team and Vasan Uncle, I really thank you so much. Thank you, Auntie. Jai Guruji.